The New Orleans Pelicans are 2-0. Anybody notice anything different so far with the spacing, ball movement? Let's talk about it.
You must know that first. Can't nothing and nobody fade what we trying to do and what we about to do. Second thing is, we got this game on our level. You understand what I'm saying?
Episode of In Space. I'm your host, Chris Connor. Shout out to all the good people that support us here. Birdsall Law Firm, the good folks here at DraftKings Sportsbook, as well as Jägermeister. Shout out to y'all as well that's been pulling up for the halftime shows that I've been doing. Had Lito as a guest for one of the shows, Chaz for the next, and we're just going to continue to do as many of those as possible, starting with Game 3 against Golden State on Monday. Now, like, comment, subscribe, all that, as always. Now, I'm going to start this by telling y'all what this show isn't about, and then we'll get into what it is. This show isn't about simply the Pelicans being 2-0. You take the wins, you appreciate the wins, you ain't giving them back. Because ain't nobody feeling sorry for you when it's your turn to be on the second night of a back-to-back, or you missing your best player, you know, or like in Golden State's case, probably a mixture of both, them missing multiple players and being on a back-to-back by the time Monday arrives. We'll see. But it's not about that. It's about process and it's about parts. Because process and parts can get you through some of those situations where you are missing these individuals. It can help you hopefully not go through another 10-game losing streak. It can help you create and establish and nail down an identity. And I think the Pelicans are doing some early things, even in 2 games. Even if you want to go back to that last preseason game against Orlando, they're doing some solid things that illustrate them wanting to have that, create that, and put a stamp on what type of team they're going to be, because it's making lives easier offensively, specifically in the half court. And that's what they struggled with a lot last year, even with Zion sometimes not being able to make teams pay for playing stupid defenses. I mean, just it is what it is. Now, let's talk about something else this show isn't about. It ain't about certain dudes that just don't apply. Like this dude right here. Ball movement, spacing, none of this matters for him right here. He scored this. He ain't passed the ball. CJ McCollum, wide open. Brandon Ingram, the only 3 that he made yesterday, the only 3 he's made for the season was from that same spot. Nah, we're going to leave him. Herb Jones, I think missed 1 3 on the season so far. Nah, we'll live. We're going to put everybody in the paint. And as always, 60 or 70% of the time, Zion made this. Mitchell Robinson, one of the best shot blockers in the league. Zion don't care. He made this. It's crazy. But this is what he's up against night to night, almost possession to possession, and it doesn't matter. So while ball movement and spacing may help him, he just don't apply. It just is what it is. He does not apply. Because in reality, he saw this. Absolutely nothing. Nothing but the rim. And more times than not, that's what he's always going to see. Just the basket. That's what being generational is. And it's not just with him. To some respects, you know, you can say the same about Brandon. We see the contested shots that he makes. We see the shot that he made, a couple of the shots he's made in both games, fall aways after being fouled and ones. We've seen him go against boxing ones. We've seen him go against different kind of zone looks and traps, and still find a way to impact the game. But everybody on this team isn't Brandon or isn't Zion. So how do you make life easier, and how are you able to empower others? That's what ball movement does. It brings liberty. It empowers other people on the team to where you get performances like a dude coming in off the street and Matt Ryan, to where he's already a threat as a shooter coming in off the street. Jordan Hawkins. It empowers him to start off the year playing, having some pretty decent moments, but shooting 8 shots, some in garbage time, but finishing the game with 8 points, 9 points last night. Pelicans needed those, specifically in that second quarter. And you can also look at Herb Jones as another guy who is helping. And this is with certain key contributors are out, or while certain key contributors are out. Like, what happens when you went, if you're playing in this style, when you bring back a Jose Alvarado, you bring back a Trey Murphy. Now, I got a question about Trey's outfit at some point later on in this show. We'll get to that. But first, let's talk about a video. I talked about Herb Jones, and I got to give Justin some credit here. Justin posted that Herb Jones is now shooting 60%, 9 for 15 on threes through preseason and 2 regular season games. The confidence just looks different. While that was something that I even said, Ross, Justin, we'll see. It's a long season, but he seems like he believes he's going to shoot 37% from 3. With that being said, I want to show a play of Herb not shooting and Herb driving to the rim. And shout out to Schmidt for kind of making me look at this play in a different way. Watch Josh Hart and watch Quickly. Quickly's on Matt Ryan. Josh is on Hawkins. 3 shooters out there. Herb makes a really good individual play. But watch what the parts and the spacing does and the decision that it puts, the dilemma that it puts both of those guys in as dudes that look like they are itching to help Herb's drive.
Been more efficient in their half-court sets. Let's see if that continues. Herb on the spin, he got there.
So a really good individual play by Herb. But did you see Quickly in the corner there, baseline, not knowing if he should help or leave Matt Ryan? Matt Ryan. That's what spacing and even a small percentage of shooting does. DiVincenzo is not going to leave CJ McCollum. That's just not going to happen. And then you see Josh Hart kind of, should I help? Should I help? Nah, I got to stick with Jordan Hawkins because Jordan Hawkins can shoot the basketball. That gives Herb a clear lane. He can take advantage of what you want to see him do all the time when teams put their worst perimeter defender on him. He attacks. Strong finish by Herb. Would love to see more of that. That's one element. The other element of it, we'll go back to the ball movement part here. Here's a play from the Memphis game where it's a really good design, but again, teams find themselves in a dilemma because they can't be everywhere. They can't cover everything when you have the right arsenal and the right parts out there. Really good design and really good execution, but look where it lands. Starts with Brandon, ends with Zion. Starts with Brandon, goes to Zion, and then ends with CJ. Watch this.
Ingram takes him in the paint, shovels it out to Williamson. A McCollum long shot.
A practice 3. All because of the attention that Brandon and Zion work together to generate, 38, 39% three-point shooter, one of your best shooters on your team. You can make an argument, the best shooter on the team. He's definitely the best shooter today before Trey Murphy returns. A practice 3, a practice corner 3, beautiful design and beautiful execution, but that's what happens. So then you start thinking about the lineups with Jordan Hawkins and the lineups with Matt Ryan, where teams have to respect those two dudes. They can't leave them. They can't leave them. I showed you the play with Zion being Zion. You can only imagine what it's going to look like once you bring back in some of these other guys, because you can replicate this. You can do this. Five will talk about it all the time. You can do this game after game after game after game after game and make the miles that your stars have to play be a lot less. CJ, Zion, and Brandon played 28, 30, and 32 minutes. Yo, that's fantastic. How many times have we seen them have to play 36 and 38 and 40 minutes or, shoot the ball over 20 times? No, sharing the basketball, but having the right people to move the ball to makes a difference. And I think that's something that's going to be really interesting to watch. Charles, if you're watching this, that's what you asked me in the spaces. What am I looking for? Can they continue this? Are they going to continue running this offense and sharing the basketball in that way? Finding others. not just finding the play that leads to the, that generates the assist, but maybe making a play that leads to the assist, even if it's a hockey assist. Because if they do, offensively, they're going to be really hard to guard because they already have talents that can persevere in mud, in traffic. So now that makes the life so much easier for your role players. Then you get a situation where you can just dump the ball off to Jonas and finally get him going offensively to start the fourth quarter. That's huge, man. With Zion and Brandon on the way to check back in, it's going to be really interesting. I mean, you're talking about a rookie and, a dude on a, on a two-way. And Matt Ryan coming in and being important pieces to your team, and they're not looking silly. It's going to be interesting to see how it develops once this team defenses start to make adjustments, and will they matter once they play stiffer competition? I'm going to end this show. I mentioned Trey Murphy earlier. Man, I am going to hope. I'm going to guess he was going for the funny Marco look. Y'all got to explain to me. Was this it? Was this the plan? Trey, Kenny, Albita, holler at me and let me know what's happening here. I just want to know. I don't even want to judge him. I just want to know what the hell I was looking at. End of this show, man. Appreciate y'all as always for showing love. Hope the Pelicans can continue this level of ball movement. And man, if these shooters continue to be threats, all the shots won't go in. Matt Ryan went 1 for 8. Jordan Hawkins will have tough shooting nights. The list, it will continue. But if they play with this style of process, and if they continue to put out these lineups with anywhere close to this level of spacing, they are going to be hard to deal with, because as we've seen already, they should be a good defensive team again. Gonna be fun to watch. DraftKings, what up?
NBA fans, the wait is over. Basketball's back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is celebrating with an unbeatable offer. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for throwing down $5 on the NBA. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. You'll start the season with an instant dub. Basketball's more fun when you're in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BOOT. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOT. The crown is yours.